Hello, welcome to CPS 508, Counseling and Helping Relationships. I'm Professor Buckwalter, and this is Professor Murrin, and we're excited to have you part of the class and to just engage with you this semester in learning helping relationship skills. And so welcome, we're glad to have you. Today we wanted to just provide a brief video and interaction here with you and share with you some important details about the class that maybe you're already having some questions about, but we're going to try and provide some answers to you right now. So have a seat, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy a little bit of conversation here with us. First off, we want to go over the syllabus just a little bit with you. We know you're graduate students and you can read the syllabus, but it would be good maybe for us to highlight a few key points in the course. And so first is the course description. Possibly you've read that already, but just want to reiterate, this course is really a course that provides foundational skills in education and training for helping relationships. So while you may not come in to this course with a lot of foundational skills, we want to really develop these foundational skills. We're going to introduce you to them, we're going to allow you to practice them and develop them, and then really move towards mastery of them. So this is a graduate program which you'll graduate with a master's degree in professional counseling, which means you're gonna need to be able to master the skills, and so this course is really this foundational course in mastering skills. So the focus of the course is to engage each student in developing and practicing those basic skills through demonstration, discussion, participation in the skills practice, which also means video capture, practice role plays, and also individual and peer supervision. Yes, there's going to be a lot of evaluation and feedback that you're going to receive, but I think, Professor Murrin, that's probably a good thing. We need to have some of that feedback, and so I think that can be really beneficial for us. Also, attention will be given for relationship and rapport building and basic case conceptualization and trying to think through what is really taking place here. We want to teach you how to do that. And then also objective setting and setting session agendas, because you have a 50 to 60 minute counseling session, and honestly it's up to you and I to figure out what do we do for those 50 and 60 minutes, and we have to be intentional about it. And the counseling that we want to teach you how to do is maybe different than what you see on television, in that we really are intentional about the work that we do with a client, and so we want to teach you how to do that. And then lastly, a sort of analysis of your counselor skills and abilities. We have to do that, and so part of this course is you constantly having feedback from others and also from Professor Murrin and myself, and so that's part of what we want to do. So that's kind of the course description, at least in a narrative format here. And then student learning outcomes. So at the end of the course, what is it you will be able to do? And so we're believing that you should be able to identify your personal strengths and weaknesses relative to those counselor characteristics and behaviors. And then also to be able to demonstrate the ability to establish a helping relationship through basic counseling skills. You should be able to do that after this course. And then also demonstrating the ability to identify discrepancies in a client's story, and then being able to use some challenging skills to bring those things out and maybe flesh out some incongruences for the client. And then two additional items: identify and respond to client nonverbal behaviors. You'll need to be able to read people, honestly. And then the last one is to practice towards proficiency in receiving and providing substantive professional peer feedback. So I probably said the word feedback like 4 or 5 times already, and so know that this course, you just are going to have to respond to feedback and evaluation. For some students, that's a little bit more challenging, and for others, maybe not so much, but that's what this course will be. And so we have several textbooks that we're going to share, and Professor Murrin, if you want to grab the other 2 textbooks there. The first one is this one here, called Becoming a Skilled Counselor, and this text actually has a lot of exercises in it, and of which will be helpful for you to do, some of which you're required to do, which I think will be beneficial. And so that's a core text that we have. And also, We have the basic and advanced counseling skills text, and this text actually presents to you the skilled counselor training model. And so at the end of this course, your final video, your final project will be to demonstrate this entire model that they present in this text. And so it'll be a challenge to learn each of the elements of this model, but be able to demonstrate it. So we're looking forward to you being able to do that. And the last text is actually a new text we've added called Impact Therapy, the Courage to Counsel. And one of the things that I really like about this text is it brings a real creative element into the counseling. You know, I had a fellow graduate student years ago. He and I had met for coffee after we graduated, and we were both working in the field. And he looked at me and he said, "Counseling's not all that much fun. It's kind of boring." And I looked at him and I'm thinking, this is a creative guy. How is counseling boring? And he said, "Well, all I do is just sit there and talk to people." And I said, "Mark, don't you bring in creative elements? You're a creative guy." And he looked at me and he said, "Am I allowed to do that?" And I was like, "Mark, are you kidding? Of course. You have all this creative ability. Bring in those creative things such as drawings and diagrams and illustrations and metaphors and stories and all those kinds of things." And he actually really put that into practice. And later on, he said, months later, he said, "Wow, I've really been enjoying counseling again." Impact therapy actually provides some of that directive to incorporate some of those creative elements. And so I think we'll find this to be helpful for us as well. So we have good news and bad news about this course. The good news is we don't have any exams, and I don't think there's any quizzes either. Are there?
No,
there's
not.
no quizzes or no exams. That's the good news. Well, the bad news. The bad news is there are lots of papers, lots of forums, and lots of videos, and lots of evaluations. But I think those things will be really good building blocks for the students.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be good for the class. So Professor Murrin is going to talk a little bit about maybe some of those assignments, and then we'll kind of talk a bit about forums as well.
Yep, so we just briefly wanted to go over as far as the assignments and our expectations for you students as grad students now. So with any late assignment, it's going to be 25% off per day that it's going to be late. So especially when...
Wait a second. Per day? You're telling me if I'm 2 days late, that's 50% off?
Yeah, it is grad school, so...
That means I really need to be on my A game. If I'm in grad school, then I've really got to have my work done when it's assigned and when it's due.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep. And it's actually going to be 0% when other peers are involved with your assignments.
So you're talking about like if I post something and then I'm supposed to post on a peer, I'm supposed to review other peers' posts, and I don't do that, I do receive a 0.
Correct. Your original post.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I do that for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, and we also wanted to go over with this textbook here, Becoming a Skilled Counselor. There's going to be case illustrations in here as well, but most of your assignments are going to be labeled as exercises. So just make sure that you know the difference between those two. We don't get them mixed up.
Good. It was mentioned that we're going to do some forums, and some students have different feelings about online forums. At times, students feel like, oh, I have to post something and I have to comment on 2 or 3 others, and it sort of becomes a little bit cumbersome maybe and like busy work. But I think what we want to do this semester is move away from that cumbersome, we have to do it, into this is an ongoing discussion between the professors and the students on the material that we're learning in class. And so we're going to be really intentional this semester at really engaging throughout the week into the forums and even pulling in information from even other materials that were learned throughout the week into that forum, even if it's not part of the initial question, but we want to try to integrate all of the learning into that forum. And so we're really looking for you as a student as well to actively engage in the forum and not look at it as, oh, it's an assignment and I have to, complete it because it's on my assignment list, but rather this is my way of engaging in the classwork. And so typically initial posts are due on a Wednesday. So an initial a posting will be for Wednesday, and then responding to other students' posts is typically due on a Friday. Now you want to check each forum dates and times to review that, but typically that's usually how it will work for us. And so, when we talk about forum responses, what types of comments are we looking for whenever students respond?
Well, we know we're not looking for yearbook comments, oh, this is great, this was fun. No, we're looking...
You were such a good friend.
Right. But no, we're looking for more honest and intentional and also gracious feedback.
Yeah, okay. I like that gracious piece. Honest, intentional, but also gracious. And so there's no need to hit anybody over the head,
Right.
but be nice and intentional and purposeful in the comments that are made. I think that's pretty good. So, and in writing style expectations, we this is graduate school, right? So we're going to be monitoring, kind of watching and encouraging you guys to make sure that the writing style you use really does sound like it's graduate level work, and that includes punctuation and grammar and those things, and certainly APA style writing as well as what we would expect. So, well, the last thing we wanted to just touch base with you on is, for some of you, the online education could be new, and so maybe you've not used an online platform such as LBC. We use a Schoology. We call it eCampus, but so for some of you who are unfamiliar with that, we provided a tutorial, a navigational tutorial for eCampus that you can go ahead and review it. I think it's about 5 minutes long, and it's pretty informative on how it kind of works for us. And so we're going to try and do that as best we can, and you can certainly view that for that benefit. So. Well, I think that's probably all of the sort of key points that we want to provide.
I think so.
I don't know if we mentioned that online forum. I think we'll provide an online discussion forum for FAQs, frequently asked questions. So some of you ask questions, and sometimes it's the same question. So we're going to try and refer you back to that forum. To be able to log that question, and we'll respond to that question there so everyone else can see it as well. So, but I think that's probably about all the information. So again, we're really excited to have you part of the class and to spend this semester with you. So welcome to the class, and we look forward to seeing you online, but also seeing you in class. Thank you.